Hi, okay, so I'm a history student at University of Manchester, and throughout the year I work as sort of like a maths tutor, but I don't do it privately, so I work sort of with schools. I work with a company called the Tutor Trust, and you kind of do like kind of several interview levels and like training days and stuff, and then once you sort of meet all the requirements and stuff, they put you in touch with various schools around Greater Manchester. Um, and so you can help sort of academically struggling kids and stuff. And you can do sort of primary or secondary, and in each one you can do sort of English, maths, or science. So I do secondary maths, that's what I'm trained in. But that being said, if I wanted to train for like English or science, that's something that I could also do as well.
Did you pick to do maths?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And did they train you up, or did you already have that training before starting uni?
No, they trained me beforehand. I think I've had like some experience with kids before, just through like kind of doing a lot of babysitting and stuff. And yeah, I did. I think I had a couple of days of work experience in a school a couple of years before that. But in general, they did say like they don't expect you to be able to know what you're doing right off the bat, which is why they have the training days. And so you have like 3 days of training. So one sort of like a general thing, and it's a lot about safeguarding and stuff and sort of keeping children safe in education. And then they sort of go a bit more specific to do like secondary school students, and then subject to specific training as well. And they're kind of be like, oh, this is the general outline of a lesson plan that you might get, something like that. But yeah, I mean, training is not too intense anymore.
No. What do you like about your work?
The flexibility definitely is a really good thing, because you can choose which assignments you sign up for. And sometimes it'll just be like a cover shift, so you can just I'm too fair, I haven't taken on a cover shift yet, but sometimes they might email you like a day before and be like, hey, are you free for like an hour tomorrow to do some tutoring? So that's quite good. So yeah, definitely the flexibility is a really good thing, and also kind of the pay is quite decent as well.
Yeah,
So
especially as you're a student, like.
yeah, exactly. Like, because I mean, I guess at the end of the day, you're not working that many hours a week, but you're still getting paid as if you had like a regular part-time job. So,
Okay.
to be honest, I only really work about 2 hours a week, but I get £170 a month, which is pretty decent.
That's really,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but the only kind of sort of caveat to that is that it's not just working 2 hours a week, because it's like that's 2 hours of like actually one-on-one tutoring, but there is a lot of preparation which goes into it first.
Yeah.
And for me, especially when I start assignments, I get very like in my head being like, and I want to prepare everything.
Yeah.
So I sometimes spend like 2 hours planning like a 1 hour lesson.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
But then by the end of the session, it'll be like 20 minutes before we start, I'd be like, right, so what am I gonna do? So then as we go on, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I mean, you travel, I know, like, I'm guessing you have to travel quite far sometimes as well, around Manchester.
yeah, sometimes. So I've been on two different assignments this year. So one in first semester and one in second semester. The first one was in Wythenshawe, so just a bit outside of sort of the central Manchester. It's about sort of 45 minutes, an hour on the bus. So that was fine. That was like an in-person one. But my one in second semester, because by the time I signed up for the second semester one, it was all like we're on lockdown again, so schools are closed, so they had to be online. But after doing it online, I realized it's a bit easier to do it online, because the travel time, I didn't realize in the first one, does take quite a lot out of you, and it does feel like a bit less effort when you just need to sit down in front of your computer and but yeah, because my initial worry was that doing it online would be like, oh, the kids aren't concentrating, they're not going to pay attention to, blah blah blah. But actually, it's fine. Like, they're all well behaved, and they only really pick students who are going to get the use out of it. They're not going to pick students who, yeah. I had one incident once with one girl who just fell asleep.
No.
Yeah, I was in the middle of talking. This was like in an in-person session.
On her own, or with like a class?
No, you do it like sort of. I'd have like 2 or 3 students at a time.
Yeah.
This is one of my in-person ones, and a lot of the time, if they don't want to be there, they just don't show up, which is sort of kind of fair enough. Like, because I don't really want them to. For me, it kind of makes my life easier. If they don't want to be there, then they just aren't.
They're not going to distract and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it easier for me. But yeah, so she never showed up to a single one, and did show up to this one. And then I was sort of explaining things. She was really bright, actually. She was really smart, but literally just got bored and just kind of went like,
Oh,
I was
no.
like, oh, okay. But I kind of didn't, and there was another student who actually was trying really hard. So I think, and I didn't know how to handle it at the time. So I kind of
No.
like, oh God, what am I going to do? But I actually think I did come out to handle it quite well in the end. I think it's just one of the things of looking for attention a little bit. So I
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah. And like I said,
yeah,
she was really smart. It's probably that like she just needed something a little bit like harder to stimulate her work. But obviously you can't do that all the time because you've got kids who are
yeah,
struggling. So it has to
yeah,
just
exactly.
be a
So I
balance.
just kind of, while she was doing that, I was like, oh, if she wants to do that, she can do that. So I just kind of focused on the other student. And then after about like 5 or 10 minutes, she was like, right, actually, I'm bored. Let's do some work. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I kind of let the other girl do her thing. And then I explained it to her, the whole concept that would been going over for like the past 15 minutes. And in 2 minutes, she got it like that. So I was
Oh,
like,
really?
no,
Yeah.
fine. So
She probably just needs a lot to keep her mind like going forward.
yeah.
So how did you start out?
So I started in February 2020. And initially it was that I realized that I just wanted to get a job. I actually think it's because I was sad about a guy and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be an independent woman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give myself something to focus on, something worthwhile. And then I kind of was like, yeah, let's get a job, because also, I want money and I needed experience as well. So
Yeah.
it kind of worked out. And then also I was sort of looking at a lot of the jobs on the Students' Union website. And it just kind of occurred to me, I guess, a bit like I kind of want to do something a bit more worthwhile with my time. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to work in like just a Morrison's or a Sainsbury's and
Or
stuff like
bars.
that. I
Yeah.
chance to do something a bit more like impactful. That being said, jobs at sort of Morrison's and Sainsbury's are quite hard to get anyway. So
Yeah.
um,
So, I mean, especially in the area of like
yeah,
Manchester, because it's just full of students. So
yeah, exactly. So everyone's applying for them. And so with the Tutor Trust, that they don't really have a limit for like roles you can fill. It's more just if they think you'll be good at it, they just let you on.
yeah.
So then you kind of hand in your CV, blah, 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 send that to them. I write a bit of a cover letter. And then I got called in for an interview, which I think, I was pretty nervous about. But it kind of went fine in the end. They kind of just asked you like, oh, why do you want to do this? And I think they're kind of looking for people who genuinely just want to like help out and actually just,
Yeah.
and actually have a passion for like, like helping
kids.
people out and all that kind of stuff. And then you do like a little role playing thing with like the two interviewers, which is weird because obviously like I was like pretending to teach these two 40-year-old women.
Oh no.
So I thought like, ooh, that's what we
Yeah.
did.
Hi.
But yeah, I don't know. For me at least, like I think I was quite scared in my head. I was like, oh, what's going to happen? Like I'm not really good at it. But then when you're put into the type of situation which you're scared of happening, you realize actually I do kind of know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Again, it's not as bad as you.
That probably
think it would be.
follows on to the like. Obviously, I was going to ask you, what would you say to someone starting out today? So it's probably obviously along them lines, isn't it? It's kind of
Yeah.
cracking, like just I suppose just going into it, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's really nerve-wracking at first. Like I used to get so nervous. Also, they're like, because I do secondary students and they're all 14, 15, 16. And I was like, oh God, they hate me and think I'm simply like mean teenagers.
I'd be panicking, Daisy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like at the end, like it does take a lot of, for me at least at the beginning, it took a lot of sort of just kind of powering through a bit, I guess, because I was getting quite bad anxiety for it. But it's one of those things you just need to push through kind of at the beginning, and then it gets like a lot easier. And once you kind of establish a bit more of a rapport with them, it's a lot better.